let the scoring begin. He's coming out. Jamar Wall just shy of the 20-yard line. Let's quickly check in with Lisa Salters down below. Lisa?
Well, Brent, I asked Texas Tech defensive coordinator Ruffin McNeil what kind of game he's expecting tonight, and he said a wild one. You're going to need your big boy pads tonight, but he said that the Red Raiders are excited but seem extremely calm to him. And Brent, why not? If a team goes as its head coach goes, the Red Raiders should be nothing but completely relaxed. I was talking to Mike Leach before the game. He was out here sipping a cup of water, looking and sounding like this was just another game. I asked him what he was expecting tonight, and he said, I gave up trying to predict that stuff a long time ago.
The offensive line is split from Lubbock to Amarillo. First down and 10, and here comes that new look running game. And that was Shannon Woods with the first carry. How about our impact players?
Well, let's start with, of course, Michael Crabtree, the best the best wide receiver in college football. Last year won the Biletnikoff. Now, Detron Lewis doesn't get as much recognition, but watch number 17 tonight. He'll be all over the field. And in the backfield, you'll see Shannon Woods, but also been very impressed by number 25, Baron Batch. He'll also bring in a little bit more of a tough running style to this backfield for Texas Tech.
High snap. Incomplete as Graham Harrell brought it back down. Eric Morris was the intended receiver.
Against this Texas front, because of how quickly they can get after you with Kendall, as you see, coming in on Harrell, everything has to be crisp. That includes the snaps from the center getting back to the quarterback, Graham Harrell.
What a start this would be for Will Muschamp if he can get a 3-and-out on the first series. Hang on now. 3rd and 5 for the Raiders. Offensive line keeps it clean. Can't find an open receiver. Now chucks it. First down. And there's the main man, number 5, Michael Crabtree. And he comes up hobbling. Crabtree is coming to the sideline.
Oh, keep a close eye on Michael Crabtree right here. The greatest thing about these Texas Tech receivers is when Graham Harrell starts to scramble, they're staying in timing this entire season with Harrell, and they find space. That is not a good sign there for Texas Tech to see number 5 hobbling off.
Baron Batch circles out as a running back as an extra receiver. Wide open down the middle to the 41-yard line, and he connects with Tremaine Swindle.
They will find seams if you present them, and this time, see how the linebackers came up on Baron Batch? It opened up a nice void in the back end of that zone, and again, the experience of Graham Harrell recognizing and putting the ball right where he has to Tremaine Swindle.
Working on Crabtree's left leg, lower part of that leg. First down and 10, and they come back with the running play with Woods, his second carry. This is one thing, Kirk, that Coach Leach has added to the offense. They are running the ball. Mac Brown telling us, look, they're running the ball a lot better than they have.
I think it's the best running game that he's had since he's been in Lubbock. And I asked him, and we talked to him this week, and we said, well, why this year? Why are you running the ball more? He said, well, we've got 2 great backs and a big, strong, physical offensive line. They average 139 yards this year on the ground, which is the best he's ever had.
Quick strike again. Detron Lewis's first catch of the night.
Texas's answer with Will Muschamp here early, at least their attempt at an answer to try to come after Graham Harrell, is every single snap you're seeing a different look. The linebackers are up showing pressure, and at the snap they drop. The next play, they're sitting back to the outside. They blitz to the inside. They're trying to create some havoc and some pressure on this veteran Texas Tech offensive line, and so far Graham Harrell and company have handled it.
And Kirk, here's their second 3rd down on this opening drive. From the Horn 35-yard line, need 4. Down he goes, sacked for the first time. Wrapped up by Miller. Roy Miller with the game's first sack. And remember now that Harrell's been sacked only 3 times.
Everybody talks about Texas and they think about Arakpo and Kendall on the outside. This gives you the idea, the importance of having a push in the middle, and Roy Miller is more than capable of doing that. That'll be very important tonight for Texas's defense.
Forcing a rare Texas Tech punt. LaCour with Juan Cosby back deep for the Horns. So the Red Raiders failed to score on their first possession. And now they down a punt, and Colt McCoy will have to go the distance. 99 yards awaits the man everyone believes is the front runner right now for the Heisman Trophy. He's about to be tested in Lubbock. All fired up. Noisiest part of the stadium. Colt McCoy must operate in the shadow of his own goal after that fine punt. A power I formation. Conservative in the end zone. Safety. A safety on the first handoff of the game. Colby Whitlock. The nose man is in on Chris Ogbonnaya, and it's 2-0 Red Raiders.
That's one way to get this crowd back into the game after being forced to punt offensively. Just a push here by Whitlock, and watch the defensive line just overpower Texas up front. Richard Jones getting a push. Whitlock. Ogbonnaya didn't have a chance. By the time he had the football, all he could see are black jerseys right in his face.
These guys have been hearing for over a year that they can't play any defense. They've been waiting all year for something like this. Now, of course, the Horns will kick it away from the 20-yard line. And the Red Raiders will have the ball after the safety. The guns were up after that safety in this stadium.
Plays like that not only give you the points, but change the momentum in a big way. It's almost like a block punt or a block field goal.
John Gold will punt it away, and Colt McCoy is on the headset talking to Greg Davis up in the booth. Bobbled on the 35-yard line, and so Graham Harrell comes out. There's Crabtree returning to the game after you saw them tape that ankle up down below.
I'm sorry, I was going to say about Graham Harrell starting his 35th game for Texas Tech. And the reason that's important is you have to go all the way back to Cliff Kingsbury for Mike Leach to have a veteran quarterback. And I think that has a lot to do with why this offense is hitting on all cylinders coming into tonight's game.
Harrell is back in the gun. Woods is the running back along to the right. Now here comes Woods, his third carry from scrimmage. And Lisa, what did you find out about Crabtree's injury?
Well, Brent, like you said, they were working on his left ankle, and I spoke to head trainer Steve Pincock, and he said it's the same ankle that he's been bothered with over the last couple of games. Like you said, they taped it up. They gave him a couple of pills. Don't know what those pills were, but they said he's fine. What they want him to do is keep talking to them, the training staff, so they can monitor how he feels throughout the game.
The Longhorns have been very successful against some very talented receivers the last couple of weeks, and certainly they'll have their eye on number 5. Second down and 5. Harrell steps off to the right and throws complete for the first down. He hits Lewis.
You're going to see a lot of these kind of looks from this offense tonight. Harrell feels the pressure, but they're going to pick on Beasley, the corner. He has to make a decision. He comes up again on the receiver that's out in the flat, giving a nice big window for Graham Harrell. And once Harrell was able to get away from the pressure, a very easy throw for him for a big gain.
Will Muschamp's defense under fire. There's that inside shuttle pass. The Horns view that basically as a run, and that is Batch, number 25, the ball carrier on it. So Will Muschamp has to change up consistently. He's not faced a passing attack quite like this.
You give up some numbers in this conference when you face these kind of quarterbacks and these kind of offenses, but the key is being able to make plays when you have to be able to either prevent a touchdown and force a field goal or to be able to come up with a big turnover.
Trying to get through that wide gaps in pursuit of Harrell on the move right, and a diving reception at the 30-yard line. Crabtree making the grab, and the chains move again.
Another great example of Michael Crabtree working back to find Graham Harrell. Graham Harrell's going to scramble. He's going downfield to clear out the zone. He realizes his quarterback's in trouble, and how about the hands by number 5 to be able to pull that ball in?
What a great look at Crabtree. Bracketed. He took the corner, banged into him, and with those great big hands of his, snares it. Now Crabtree come out of the backfield. He'll run a circle to the left. Harrell can't find him open right away, so he moves to the right. And it'll be second down.
You touched on it. I said a little earlier about the importance of mixing up looks. When you have a veteran quarterback like Graham Harrell, again, it's every week in this conference you're talking about a quarterback that's starting his almost his 3rd year or 4th year as a starting quarterback. And when you have that kind of experience, it's like having a coach back there looking into these eyes of this defense, and it makes it easy to make adjustments.
It is like having a coach because he is son of a coach, played for his daddy over in Ennis, Texas, which is not too far from Dallas, Texas. And Mike Leach swears by his decision-making. That time, he almost made a mistake with Aaron Williams closing in. And Arakpo coming off that line. Now, the one thing to remember about the defensive linemen in a game like this, and I'm sure Muschamp and everybody on that defensive staff know this, when you pursue a quarterback as often as they do, you get to the 4th quarter, your tongue is hanging out.
When they throw as many screens as they throw, it's another reason that you get fatigued. That's why depth and rotating bodies in is so important when you're trying to defend these types of offenses. Another big 3rd down here.
Muschamp trying to overload the front, tries to get to Harrell, does not. Crabtree again rips away to the 12-yard line. The size of the hand and the strength of number 5.
This is called a back shoulder fade. This is designed to throw back to the backside. He's actually doing this on purpose. It makes it so hard for Beasley, who thinks he's going downfield, but the ball is thrown back behind the receiver. And what an advantage for the receiver, knowing the ball will be thrown there. It's all about the timing again between Harrell and Crabtree.
Remember now, this drive was set up by the safety. That came on 3rd and 10. Already Crabtree with 3 receptions here tonight. Back to the running game with number 2, Woods. Beasley, he can have a busy night if they're going to keep coming at him over there, okay? He could say, Coach, I need a little more help over here. They're throwing at me. They're running at me.
This drive is, boy, just a great example of Texas Tech and how they can attack you in different ways. We'll see if they're able to finish off this drive. That's the key tonight. Can these offenses score when they get into the red zone and not have to settle for field goals?
Steps away from the pressure. Still waiting. Incomplete, and he had a touchdown, and Britton, who had a big game last year in Austin, couldn't hang on.
Graham Harrell showing that Colt McCoy is not the only quarterback who's somewhat nifty in the pocket. Gets away from Acho, and then Lewis dives. Now he's got all kinds of time, throwing way back all the way into the middle of the field, which is a no-no, but he's got his man there, and Britton just unable to hold on to it.
Batch checks into the backfield. Now we've got 3rd and 10. You know the Horns will be looking for number 5. They're well off the line. They're going to try to blitz Harrell. Can they get there? They cannot. Off the back foot, incomplete, and he was going for number 5. They put pressure on him that time. They hurried Harrell.
And Will Muschamp would tell you that that's as good as a sack. Even if you put pressure on him and it forces him to maybe throw it before he's ready, that's as good as a sack, especially on 3rd down.
Here's a big story. Young Matt Williams, who was 9 for 9 as a walk-on. He wasn't really a walk-on. Coach sent somebody in the stands to get him after he came out and hit that 30-yarder to earn a year's free rent over at the Linwood Condominiums. Players don't even know him as Williams. He's simply Linwood. Here it is, folks. His first field goal attempt, 29 yards. Rips it through. How about this young man? One of the stories of the year in college football. But now if you're the Longhorns, you're saying, okay, settle in. We gave up a safety, but only a field goal. That's a victory for the Horns.
No doubt about that.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Verizon Wireless. And the all-new 2009 H3T pickup. The most versatile Hummer ever.
After practice, basketball coach Pat Knight and his players handed out 550 Domino's pizzas to the Raiderville crowd last night. They were out there all week long. Started forming on Monday. And they are hooping and hollering now. 5-0. Donnie Corona. He'll kick it off. Fielded at the 12 by Cosby. Cosby looks gap and he's out to the 32. Let's go to Matt Weiner for our first update on this Saturday night. Matt, how you doing?
Thanks again. Don't forget, I'm here throughout the game to let you know what's happening, starting with this Taco Bell update. Nebraska and Oklahoma, classic rivalry turning into a classic rout tonight. The Sooners have a touchdown run, an interception return for a touchdown, and now 2 Sam Bradford touchdown passes. 28-0 midway through the first. Likewise, USC routing Washington in the third.
Still in the chase, the Sooners, and how about the whipping that USC has given the Huskies here tonight. Third quarter, 42-zip. Now Colt McCoy's first pass of the night, and why not? He comes in having completed 82%. How about the impact, guys, Kurt?
Well, Colt McCoy has an arsenal of weapons. We've seen him these last 3 weeks. Jordan Shipley is on fire. 34 receptions in just the last 3 weeks. Quan Cosby on the other side. Unique ways of trying to get him the football. You just saw that. Keep an eye tonight on Fozzie Whitaker. He's been banged up. He will be in the game as this game goes on. And on the AstroTurf with his speed, he could be a factor.
Second down and 3. Inside shuttle pass. Ogbonnaya is short of the first down. On their first series, on the first play, as we see Cosby, who caught that pass, took a lick.
Hard-hitting game tonight. Colt McCoy in these last 3 weeks against Oklahoma and, of course, Missouri and Oklahoma State. How many times have we seen Texas answer when they've been challenged? We'll see if they can do it again on the road. This tough environment. Can they answer being down by 5?
3rd and 1, and they run Ogbonnaya, and it's going to be close. Tried to stick his helmet across that yellow line, which indicates first down, but they're not getting the spot there. Richard Jones and Brian Duncan. Duncan, number 57, is a very talented linebacker.
Somebody needs to get down in the huddle for the Texas team and talk to the offensive line, because these first 4 snaps, big advantage for Texas Tech with the intensity and battling up at the line of scrimmage.
In that win a year ago in Austin, 59-43, Colt McCoy rushed for 51 yards. As we take a look at this, inches away, and here we come.
Now, Mack Brown told us this week, of all the teams that he plays in the Big 12, against Texas Tech, because possessions are so key, he will take more calculated risks against Mike Leach, go against the norm because of the importance of holding on to the football and scoring points.
Now here's the first one, and it's big. McCoy himself, remember, he got 51. He gets stood up. He gets stood up, but he may get the spot. They may indeed get the spot. Forward progress being indicated there by the line judge. And what do you think? Generous?
Well, if I'm Mike Leach, at the very least, I might request another look at this. It didn't look like Texas moved forward at all. You know, it looks like maybe he picks up But a foot and a half there, maybe to get the first down. But again, Texas Tech means business up front tonight.
I thought there was an early surge, Kirk, in which McCoy moved toward that first down. And then he gets thrown back. Let us take a second look. Right there. Now he gets pushed back.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great look at it right there. It's close, obviously. I don't know if it's going to be able to be changed just based on the spot, but at the end of the day, my point is Texas Tech up front right now is attacking Texas's offensive line.
Play fake. Incomplete. Should have been handled by Greg Smith, even though it was a touch high.
Most teams during this Colt McCoy streak of completing so many passes have decided to attack and have blitzed him quite a bit. Now Texas Tech, their reputation is a bend but don't break defense. They would rather play zone, make you execute all the way down the field, and then get into the red zone and see if you can execute and put a touchdown on the board.
Big Ruffin McNeil, Kirk, took over as a defensive coordinator after 9 games last year. And he's been trying to bring the heat here tonight. Second down and 10. Rushed only 3 that time, and not a fumble. They'll rule that incomplete. Didn't have it long enough. Buckner was the intended receiver.
Rushing 3, dropping 8. You'll see both these defenses playing a bit of a cat and mouse game with the different looks. This is the area. He bobbled it, never had control, never had possession of it. This is the area where Colt McCoy has attacked the most. Inside the area where the linebackers in it, boxed area with Shipley and his other receivers. That time Buckner unable to hold on to it.
Loud, folks, real loud. 3rd and 10. Prior to the snap.
Prior to the snap. Delay game, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
The Longhorns are rattled early. Now, Mack Brown and the coaches are going to have to settle them down to get them in this rhythm. There's no question they're just a little bit off stride here. Gonna go deep, got a man open, and Shipley can't hold on. Folks, they're not executing. For 3 straight weeks, they executed one play after another, and Colt McCoy took another lick.
Now they get pressure on Colt McCoy. Takes a little time for this play to develop. They lower the boom on him there, but I want you to look at one-on-one opportunity that Colt McCoy sees with his favorite target, Shipley, going up against Brent Nickerson. The ball's there, very easily could have been a touchdown.
That was Daniel Howard who got in on the quarterback. Tucker. That running rugby punt. Trying to get it on the ground as quickly as they can, and it's fielded dangerously by Wall at the 5-yard line. Williams down to make that stop. Tech leads it 5-0.
Mike, you're a friend of mine. You're a great coach. Don't do anything different. Just do whatever you've been doing, because whatever it is, it works. You're an amazing guy. Motivate those players. You may very well come out with a victory.
Donald Trump, a friend of Mike Leach. Leach touring New York with his family, paid a visit to his office unannounced. Later, Trump contacted him, and they've been telephone buddies ever since. They talked 2 days ago. Fumbled in the end zone. Is that a lateral? Incomplete. The line judge right there said forward pass incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. That punt, Kirk, was 60 yards, but that's a great story about Donald Trump.
Yeah, you talk about the strange of a couple. That's the odd couple right there. Another snap issue for Texas Tech. Harrell fortunate to be able to get a hold of this football. The snap's not that bad about it at his knees. He misses it, but look how quick Texas gets in there to put the pressure on the Graham Harrell.
Stephen Hamby bending over the ball now. on this 2nd down and 10. Back to the running play, and that's Roy Miller making the stop on Batch.
These 3rd downs have been interesting for Texas Tech so far tonight. Now they've hit 2 of 4. Will Muschamp continues to mix it up, showing different pressures, backing out, showing no pressure at all, and then bringing it. My guess is here, 3rd down, with Texas Tech backed into their own, close to their own end zone, probably going to bring some kind of pressure here to try to force Graham Harrell out of the pocket.
Leach will throw going in and coming out. Going to go deep. Caught at midfield by Edward Britton. Remember, he dropped that one down on the goal line, but this time he comes up with a huge 3rd down play against Curtis Brown.
And Curtis Brown last week stepped in for Shockey Brown and did a great job against Des Bryant, but this gives you an idea of Texas Tech and how you get so caught up in Detron Lewis and Michael Crabtree, and then it's Britton, the speedster on the other side, that gets downfield and beats Curtis Brown for a big play.
Harrell has already thrown for 133 yards against the Horns defense. The Raiders up 5, going again. On the move, he'll throw this one away, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. And let's go to Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brent, our nominee for the Pontiac game-changing performance comes from Florida State and Georgia Tech. The Seminoles threatening to take the lead in the final minute, but Cooper Taylor jarred the ball loose from Marcus Sims. Tech seals its first ever ACC win over Florida State. You can vote for your Pontiac game-changing performance starting tomorrow at 9 on ESPN.com.
Well, Mr. Herbstreit, I certainly hope you threw in Northwestern's winning play as a game-changing performance.
Wow.
That interception return.
Maybe play of the year.
There's Crabtree on that middle screen. Picks up about 9 and reaching down toward that ankle again. Remember, it's bothered him a little bit. Lisa gave us the report from down below.
You touched on it. Texas looks at this as part of the run game, and Texas Tech will continue to run different forms of the screen. It slows down the pressure from the defensive line coming after Graham Harrell, and it wears them down. It's just another wrinkle and another thing for the defense to have to deal with.
3rd and 2, and Woods back in as the running back. And now Harrell against this defense, who's going to back it up and give him the passing look. Great read by Graham. Slides to the 30-yard line. Graham Harrell saw that coming all the way.
What's interesting here, Brent, is Mack Brown talked about one of the main reasons Graham Harrell didn't end up going to Austin is because of his inability to run the football, or his desire to run the football. And now you see on a big 3rd down, Graham Harrell showing that, again, he can run the ball. And look at this. Who would have ever guessed in the 1st quarter that Texas would have the football for about 2.5 minutes?
Inside of 2 minutes here in the opening quarter. Play fake. Fires complete again. 8 more yards. Eric Morris, the senior.
People always want to know what's different about Mike Leach and in his version of the spread. Of course, they spread you out from sideline to sideline. I think it's the way they utilize so many different weapons. Everybody is involved in being able to throw the football, and Mike Leach and his quarterbacks do a good job of not only spreading the field with formations, but actually throwing it to a number of different targets.
Second and 1. Here comes Batch. 1st down plus to about the 15-yard line.
And this is the biggest difference for Texas Tech this year. You've got to be able to respect this. And the reason that's important, listen, they only run for 139 yards a game, but the fact that they're willing to do that is different this year. They can control the line of scrimmage with the line, and they have 2 backs that can run the football, and it slows down, again, the pressure eventually on Graham Harrell because the defense can't pin its ears back. Got him on a delay here.
Yeah, that cost him. Harrell saw it coming and tried to speed it up, but that late shift cost him time.
Texas Tech.
He got the timeout.
This is the first of the half. Number one.
So somebody on the sideline.
30-second timeout. 30.
Leach doesn't like burning one right there, but they did to save the 5. So we'll take a timeout here. A boxing coach who has saved countless kids from the streets, Sugar Ray Leonard. George Foreman. Oscar De La Hoya joined the Extreme team. An all-new Extreme Makeover Home Edition Sunday, 7 Central on ABC. Red Raiders going in. First down and 10. Time running out of the opening quarter. All day. Will they get the first down? There's a penalty flag. Comes flying. Morris was struggling to get it. At you. Is it a face mask?
That looked like Earl Thomas came in high as he was trying to come in to make a tackle.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 12. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
In fact, it was Thomas, but a great job of sitting in the zone, finding the hole. Eric Morris. Once Thomas comes in, he grabs the side of the helmet very close to have face mask. They got him.
Will Harrell show Mac Brown again he's a runner. He's run for a few touchdowns in this offense. Seconds ticking away, and it'll be Batch touchdown. Baron Batch with the evening's first touchdown.
Story of this first quarter, in my opinion, is Texas Tech controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football.
Matt Williams has already hit a field goal. 10 for 10. What a find. One night in the stands. Now he's one of the most popular players at Texas Tech. We'll return after this message and words from our ABC stations. 27 plays in that first quarter for Texas Tech. 8 for the Longhorns. About 3 weeks back, the Horns fell down 11 to Oklahoma, and you know what happened on the kickoff. And Shipley is back deep with Cosby.
That's been their characteristic this year, this run of being ranked at the top of the heap in college football. They've always always had a big comeback and an opportunity to do that.
Here it comes. Shipley is out to the 20, and there's a penalty on the return. Let's go back to the touchdown, Kirk.
Brent, this is your kind of football. Watch the guards, just a little kick-out block right here, and a big block by the center to open this up for the running back, Baron Batch. Look at the line control things, and look how nasty this Texas Tech offensive line is. Watch Hamby, the center, right there in the middle, number 71. He locks up with McElroy, the leading tackler from Texas, takes him into the ground and buries him into the end zone, sends a message along with the block.
That's how Mike Leach described his offensive line in the last practice. He said nasty. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
They look nasty. I was there.
Nasty. So our Big 12 officiating crew, our referee Carl
During
Richards.
the return, illegal block in the back by the return team, number 81. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
The Longhorns are off stride here early. There is certainly no question. They just gave up a 10-play, 96-yard scoring play. They're down by 12. Colt McCoy and the staff searching for some answers.
So you say you want to be the #1 team. Let's show America why you're the #1 team. Let's see what happens.
That's McBath, who picked off 3 Kansas passes last week in that route up in Lawrence. Quick throw. Obanaya, who's a fine receiver. Out to the 14. We check him with Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brent, here's another nominee for the AT&T ESPN All-America Player of the Week. Oklahoma State receiver Dez Bryant. He has been great all season. 9 catches, 171 yards, and 4 touchdown grabs today in the Cowboys' rout of Iowa State. Text vote to 51234 on your AT&T wireless phone and cast your vote.
Second down and 3 for McCoy in the horns. He's going to try to run for it and not get there. Third down and is short. Whitlock cleaning up on the play. Big number 93.
Brent, I'm very, very impressed with Ruffin McNeill as a defensive coordinator and what he's been able to do with this Texas Tech defense early in this game, getting a lot of pressure with just 4. They're not being overly creative or complex with their scheme with how they're attacking. They're rushing with 4 and just winning the battle up front.
Former defensive back from East Carolina, McNeill is. Quarterback draw, they circle him and won't give it to him. McNeill had him squeezed, and Cisse, Brandon Cisse from Atlanta, Georgia, closed it down.
How would you like to be Colt McCoy running into this wall of jerseys? Look, what a great job, especially this defensive line and the way they're getting in there. Cisse, you mentioned, and McNeill very excited with his performance and his effort right now in his defense.
3 and out. Tucker back to punt. There's that running rugby-like punt. Try to get it on the ground. Here's Wall. It's a beauty. That punt is going to roll dead inside the 20-yard line. A 66-yard punt. That's what Texas needed. You're watching Saturday Night Football on ABC. Can't find a ticket, so you take to the trees. Just like the old days, the knothole gang in baseball. Trying to get a peek here, the Red Raiders, and Graham Harrell pulls out and drops it off underneath the Woods. Woods, the running back's got 9 more before McElroy pulls him down. Now, Kurt, a look at the Pacific Life game summary. Pretty one-sided here.
Well, this is shocking at this point through a quarter in a couple minutes. Graham Harrell having a great day, what you would expect, and the shocker is Colt McCoy. Not only that he's not having much production, he's sitting on the sidelines, not getting very many opportunities because of the way Graham Harrell is performing, and also just because Texas Tech keeps putting him to the sidelines.
Second down and 1. And here comes Woods for the first down, breaking to daylight. A different looking offense with that running game as Beasley brings Woods down.
It's just there's so many things you have to defend, and they do such a good job of giving different looks. It just makes the defense constantly on their heels with their heads moving back and forth, trying to speculate where the ball might be going. They do such a good job of mixing in just enough run with the pass.
Beasley, I believe, is shaken up on the play down at the 32-yard line, being tended to by the Texas medical staff. Well, that chase is on in Texas. You go over the speedway, the Dickies 500. Can anybody slow down Jimmy Johnson? Going for the three-peat. That would be something now. Coverage begins with NASCAR Countdown at 3 Eastern on ABC. There's your standings. And
so for a guy that doesn't really follow this, is that Jimmy Johnson, or is that the car, or is that the guy's changing tires?
All of the above. Okay. Jimmy Johnson, you know, at a certain point when those guys are on the edge, they make all the difference in the world. And for him to have won the last 2 chases, and now to be he's headed for the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
He is a difference maker. But don't take anything away from that crew.
So it's
nothing away from the car. They do a great job. You know, really are. There's 3 races left for Jimmy Johnson to 3-peat. Okay,
go Jimmy.
First down and 10 now for the Red Raiders. That inside handoff, breaking his Batch, who scored the game's first touchdown, muscling his way to midfield, and they continue to pound away on the #1 team in the country.
Here's great vision by Baron Batch. You're right, this offensive line, we've talked throughout this entire broadcast, they're controlling things, but it's just a vision, and then the cut back there by Batch, and it gives you an idea, once you make that first guy miss, there are such big seams because you're spread out so far in this defense. You break through that initial line of scrimmage, and you've got room to run.
Reed, Vasquez, Hamby, Carter, and Wynn. That's your offensive line. Harrell wide open in the middle is Swindle.
Put 3 receivers to the top. Great protection by the offensive line. Look at the linebackers. Gives you a great idea. McElroy's turning, looking to the left, looking to the right. By the time he realizes Swindle's going to come through his area, he's already by him in a huge spot right there again for Harrell to throw the football.
Play fake by Harrell. He's going to drop off another screen pass to Batch, and that one was read perfectly that time by Williams. We want to show you this offensive line. Rylan Reed, folks, at 6'7", 314 pounds. He spent 4 years in the Chicago White Sox organization as a right-handed pitcher. Luis Vasquez starting to grow up. Look at the size. Hamby, the smallest, at 287. Brandon Carter, he's Mr. Halloween over there, wants to be a pro wrestler. I mean, this is an NFL size offensive line. There's no doubt about it. And look what they're leading here, that time of possession, huh? Harrell, they give him time, can't find anybody open. You know, I'm impressed by Harrell buying time with his feet. Now, he doesn't take off downfield, but we've seen him move to the right, that time to the left. He buys extra time.
I'm equally impressed with when he buys time. The spacing of this offense is so important, and you can see that they work on him moving and getting out of the pocket and then not panicking as wide receivers, but they stay and find the openings in the zone and stay away from each other.
Kirk, they're 4 of 6 now on third down. Need 14. Drops back to midfield. Fires, reaching for the first down and got it. Lyle Leong. Talk about a first down pitch. Going back near midfield before he finally unloaded, Kirk.
And this, what are you going to do here? You rush 4, you drop 7, you can't get pressure on him. It's a wall as an offensive line. He's just dancing around, waiting until somebody breaks open. And again, you go back to the relationship between the wide receivers, this case Lee Long, and the quarterback, Graham Harrell. They always know how to work back to Graham Harrell.
There it is. First down.
That's tough
Kirk,
to cover a guy for 10 seconds.
So the mad scientist will dial up another one. Meanwhile, on the other side, when we talked to Muschamp, we said, are you at all concerned about this young secondary in deep against this passing attack? He snapped like this. They're sophomores. They've been around long enough now, but they are under assault here tonight. Low snap, picks it up, got a man wide open, touchdown! Eric Morris, his 5th touchdown of the season.
They call him Elf because he usually finds a space underneath the zone and makes plays a la Wes Welker, who used to do it here for Texas Tech. This time gets behind coverage and makes a big play.
And Matt Williams, the one-time spectator, tacks on another extra point. Red Raiders. Buddy Holly's hometown, Lubbock, Texas, and that center hosted 11 fine arts and music-related exhibitions. You can hear Peggy Sue in the background, can't you, folks? Kirk, you're too young for that, but
Last
that's
3
one
days.
of the original rockers now, my friend.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw him in Back to the Future, maybe.
Texas turn again now. Here comes Shipley. Looking for daylight, breaks free, out to the 42-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown.
A little Eric Morris, a veteran receiver. Look at the timing between Harrell and the receiver, who, by the way, is 5'8" on an outcut and beating Curtis Brown, who's having a rough night tonight so far. Ball's thrown away from Brown, an easy catch, but a nice play by Eric Morris. And again, the weapons here. These guys remind me of just gym rats. They look like they just practice these routes over and over and over again, and they're just in rhythm and in sync right now in this game.
So far, just a tremendous performance by the Tech defense. Incomplete, and suddenly it is 2nd and 10.
We have not seen Colt McCoy and his Texas offense struggle like this all year. This is where you're tested. We've had a number of drops. The offensive line has been confronted and dominated by this Texas Tech defensive line.
3-man rush, and it is suddenly 3rd and 10.
I think he had a free play. It may have.
Did they move?
I think Texas
Offside?
Tech may have moved at the top, the defensive end.
Offside. Defense number 46. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That is the first penalty of the night against the Raiders, and that's a bit of a story. They are one of the most heavily penalized teams in the country. They went that entire first quarter without a penalty. Second and 5. Pump fake, nobody open. Forced to take it out of bounds, short of midfield.
Mack Brown, I'm sure, reminding his team the last time they came to Lubbock. Remember, they were down 21-0. Fought their way back into the game and eventually won 35-31. If I'm Mack Brown, I'm reminding his team, hey, we're a veteran team, long way to go, keep your poise.
Almost picked off. Charbonnet, Daniel Charbonnet, who transferred from Duke, almost picked it off.
This defense is incredibly well prepared, and what they've seen from Colt McCoy and the success that they have had in these last few weeks, sitting on routes, knowing what's coming before it even comes. We've seen Colt McCoy in these last 2 or 3 weeks make every single throw. He's making the same throws. The difference is Texas Tech is all over his receivers.
This is the second consecutive 3 and out for the Horns. This will mark 3 straight punts after yielding a safety on the first play from scrimmage. And this one will go out of bounds, and it'll be marked on the 13-yard line. The #1 team in the nation under fire, Lubbock, Texas. Well, that opening drive, Tech punted. That set up the safety. Then in their next 3, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. And now they've got it again, coming out short of the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. A flanker screen with Crabtree. Another 1st and 10. Put it down. There's a fumble. Horns are signaling that they've got it.
Mack Brown's right in the middle.
Williams came away with it. Aaron Williams. Wow.
Big play. saying Texas is football. Another big play for Texas Tech, Brent. Crabtree makes his catch. He gets downfield, and then he gets hit. The ball is away from his body. The ball is out. And it lands right on top of a Texas defender.
Kendall, watch Kendall, the linebacker, number 2, move in on the ball. Watch him rip it.
And then I think it lands right, it bounces right into his stomach.
Then Williams jumps over there. Aaron Williams jumps on the ball and recovers it. So now their best field position of the night, their best opportunity to climb back in the middle of it. Ogbonnaya will run on 1st and 10. Crabtree being consoled by one of the coaches on the sideline over there.
Could be the big play that Texas needs to spark this team. The thing that I want to talk about Texas has to do is run the football. This is the first time this year we have seen a lack of a running game from Texas hurt them in a football game. Texas Tech has 2 safeties that are deep. Look at them right here. When you have 2 safeties that are deep, you've got to run the football.
And Ogbonnaya does just that. Runs it for a 1st and 10. McBath comes up from one of the safety spots to make the tackle.
And if I'm Mack Brown and I'm Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, I'm talking to that offensive line and saying, guys, enough is enough. We've got to control the line of scrimmage. If they're going to play with 2 safeties back, we can't throw the football downfield. We have to run the ball, which means you've got to win your blocks up front.
Safeties are well off that line of scrimmage again, and being stretched wide this time. Ogbonnaya didn't have a chance. Charbonnet kept him outside that time and did a very good job.
I think you have to hit right now. You cannot take so much time to develop a play. When you get a big turnover, you've got great field position, you have an offense that's been sluggish. Those first 2 plays, I think, are exactly what Texas needs to do. Run right into the Texas Tech defense, north and south. You can't bounce out to the outside in a slow developing play. This defense is moving too fast.
But now it's 2nd and 13. McCoy might be looking downfield here. He is. Off a play fake. And he's in trouble again. Sacked by Brandon Williams, the junior from Fort Worth, Texas, number 84.
Again, this defense well prepared. When Colt McCoy drops back to pass, they're taking away every option. The safeties coming in, not feeling any threat downfield. They're able to come up and help on the crossing routes. The linebackers and corners are taking away the receivers to the outside. Colt McCoy has nobody to throw the football to.
Third and 16. Can't find anybody, steps away. Thrown down at the 28-yard line by Williams again.
What an impressive effort by this Texas Tech defense. This is where Colt McCoy has been making plays in these last 3 weeks against very good defenses. Feels the pressure, okay, gets away from it. Now we're used to seeing him run away from the defense and make a play. He had an open receiver downfield, but Marlon Williams, coming from the backside with the speed, takes McCoy down.
Here's Hunter Lawrence. And the horns are on the scoreboard. 5:27 to go here in the first half. They trail it 19-3. Kirk Herbstreit trying to sneak a peek. He knows what's coming. All right, Kirk, 7 quarterbacks in NCAA history have thrown for more than 5,000 yards in a season. How many have been coached by Mike Leach? There are 7. How many of them has the mad scientist coached? Get your hands away from that text messaging machine. I'm going to cancel your AT&T call.
Oh, man.
Ball on the tee. 19-3. Enjoying it so far, but a long way to go. Going out of bounds. And let us go to Matt Weiner in New York for an update. Matt.
All right, Brent, a Verizon Wireless update on another prolific quarterback, BYU's Max Hall. His team down 4, less than 30 seconds left. Hall delivers it to Dennis Pitta. 5-yard strike, his 5th touchdown pass of the night. Cougars have just held on 45-42. They're 8-1.
All right, Matt, and here the Red Raiders lead the #1 team of the nation. Texas Longhorns 19-3. 5:27 to go in the first half. Let's see, the Texas Tech offense 280 yards to 21 yards for the Longhorns so far. So the story of this game really has been the performance of the Red Raider defense. They always expect the Red Raider offense to move the ball, which they certainly have done. Completing it outside, short of a first down. And all right, Kirk, how many do you think of the 7?
Yes, I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
say 4.
Pretty close, my friend. Pretty close. Okay, it has been 3. Ooh. Cliff Kingsbury.
Okay.
B.J. Simmons, and of course Graham Harrell. For a bonus answer, do you know some of the others?
I'm including Harold from this year. That's why I said. How about, I'm going to say Andre Ware? Maybe?
No.
Klingler?
Klingler, definitely. David Klingler. Like a 1990 over there in Houston way, 5,140 yards. That's one of them very recently. Here's Crabtree. Steps out with the first down and holds on to the ball. So here is the entire group, okay? There you have it. Ty Detmer, Cole.
Yeah. Cole.
And you got
Paul Smith at Tulsa last year.
Yep. Here's your list.
That's a great group.
And how about that?
And that's
Leach has coached 3 of them.
That's why Mike Leach continues to recruit quarterbacks who love to throw.
And you hear time to time a few rumors about Washington. That job now open. What would he be like in the Pac-10? Grew up in Cody, went to school at BYU, and here's his running attack with Woods down to the 32-yard line.
Boy, this offensive line is just taking control of the game. Reed with a nice block on Arakpo, and then look at him get to the second level. Great blocking and great play calling by Mike Leach. This Texas defense is completely on its heels.
Again with Woods for another first down and into the red zone.
And this is the aspect. This is different. This is very different. If you're not familiar with Mike Leach and you're watching him for the first time, you're seeing this balance. You're seeing this running game. They haven't had this in the past. They're running the football right now and controlling things up front. And now they'll go back to the bread and butter and be able to throw the ball. They're going to close in on 100 yards rushing maybe before this half's up.
Yeah, they only need 30 yards to do that. They could have 100-yard rushing here in the first half. Batch, who scored the touchdown, breaks the tackle by Kendall. Gets back for a yard. Let's check in down below with Lisa.
Well, Brent, you know how Kirk is always talking about body language. The Texas offense is over here sitting on the bench looking absolutely shell-shocked. Earlier in the quarter, Kurt McCoy was going up and down to the offense, trying to rally his troops, telling them, look, they're not doing anything special, nothing we haven't seen before. We just got to play our game. So far, though, Texas hasn't responded. Brent?
They'll be reminded not only of the comeback that Kirk told you about, but what happened last year in Austin. They came from behind and overpowered the Red Raiders in the fourth quarter. Carroll complete to Crabtree again.
I love the look of Michael Crabtree. We saw him last year. Look how physical he is, just pushing Brown to the side, makes a catch, and this is what separates him. He never gives up. He's physical, he's athletic, and he has desire. Right? Reminds me, everybody who's been an analyst of this guy says it reminds me of Andre Johnson, the great Miami Hurricane, who's now with the Houston Texans. I love him when he doesn't have the ball. He's willing to block. Just a total package.
On third down, here comes pressure. And they almost got one. And wrestling it away from Aaron Williams was Eric Morris.
Talking about a good-looking prospect. Aaron Williams, number 4 for Texas. This time, sitting on a route himself, not allowing Eric Morris to be able to make this play.
They will not go for the field goal here. Mike Leach has dialed up a 4th and 4. First down marker right at that 10-yard line. And now Harrell pulls back out. Did not draw him offside. We'll see if Leach sends young Williams out onto the field to attempt another field goal. So here is Matt Williams, who earned the kicking job, winning a contest for a year's free rent a few weeks back. And when Leach was notified that he was eligible to play, put him in uniform, hit 9 extra points last week against Kansas, has already hit a field goal in this game. And he rips a 31-yarder. Holy Toledo.
This guy, he just steps in, no problem.
I saw some signs at game day saying he was the player of the year. Matt Williams for Heisman was up there.
What
and
an amazing story.
Of course, on election eve, Monday Night Football, it's the Steelers and the Redskins in Washington. Halftime, Chris Berman. They'll speak with John McCain and Barack Obama in their last national interviews. So it'll be the Steelers and the Redskins. And the Redskins under Jim Zorn seem to have put it back together again. I think after watching him in the first game, we thought, what's he doing as a head coach? But you know what? They're pretty good now.
And Jason Campbell's doing a nice job of controlling the game. And I think Zorn being there probably has helped him a lot mentally. But I'm a Bengals fan, so the NFL season's been over for me for about 5 weeks now.
They won't go 0-16.
Oh, I hope so.
Won't go 0-16.
It's always the draft, right? I've been saying that for 20 years.
Well, they can trade Ocho Cinco or whatever he calls himself and take this Crabtree. Get him in there, okay?
Look at this. Look at this.
Numbers tell you the story, folks. The mad scientist has dominated this one, and he's got a fine quarterback. Son of a coach. We'll be seeing him on NFL football someday. No question about that. He'll get a shot. He's a good-looking player. Minute 37 to go. Back in the end zone and taking a knee is Williams. Now let's go back to New York. Matt Weiner for a Sports Center right now. Matt.
Hi, Brent. Sports Center right now, powered by Vizio. Tim Tebow had 3 rushing touchdowns today to put himself atop Florida's all-time list. To add to that, he threw for 2 more. All Gators who hammered Georgia today in the worst loss of Mark Richt's career. Tebow may be creeping up those Heisman charts again, guys.
Yeah, that's interesting because Colt McCoy, who came in the leader, he's faded a little bit here in the first half, obviously, but don't overlook Graham Harrell.
Graham Harrell, if he's able to hold on and win here, but Tim Tebow took a big step.
And Colt's got plenty of time. If they can strike, they start off with a screen overnight, and what a defensive performance. Marlon Williams has been all over the field for the Raiders.
Sitting up here in his first half, I see one team that's hungry, that's playing with desire, that's in black, and another team that looks lost, that's dressed in white.
McCoy steps away from the pressure and takes off his best run of the night. Out to the 44-yard line. Got 1:04 to work with.
And this is the first time we've seen Colt McCoy have some room to step up in the pocket. He was almost sacked there by Dixon, but he's able to pick up valuable yardage.
27 yards on that run by McCoy. Now he comes back with another first down as he strikes to Brandon Collins. Brandon makes the reception.
Gives him depth at receiver along with Malcolm Williams. Colt McCoy very comfortable in this, obviously. Still has 3 timeouts now, down at 52 seconds as the clock stops for the first.
So the Red Raiders call a timeout, and one of the things that their coach McNeil said is you've got to keep rested rushmen on the field. Coming up now, the Capital One halftime report. We'll have all the scores and highlights. John, Craig, and Doug, and it's been a busy day. One of the great plays of the day was Northwestern, as it appeared that game was headed for overtime up in Minneapolis, and ball off a face mask, intercepted, touchdown.
And it looked like Minnesota at that point in the game was just killing the clock, just trying to get out of it. I was surprised that they were still throwing with the ball deep in their own territory.
Meanwhile, our friend Brett Bielman is going to be under a little bit of heat about the management of the clock and what went on in that last second loss to Michigan State. I'll tell you that.
Give Dino Mark D'Antoni a lot of credit for getting back and finding a way to win that one. They stole one today from Wisconsin.
First down and 10. McCoy's got time, and it's dropped again. This time it's Cosby. No, check that. That was Collins. Check that. That was Brandon Collins who put that one down.
I think Texas, that's about their 4th drop here in the first half. This receiving group, usually very reliable. Ball's perfectly thrown. Collins looking where he wanted to go before he caught the football.
46 seconds for Colt on the horns. Steps away from the pressure, dumps it in underneath to Shipley, and Shipley's got first and 10 out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That was McBath. That's his first of the night. It looked like Shipley had a touchdown earlier in the game and let it get away from him.
Yeah, there was a flag down.
Personal foul. Offense, number 74.
Oh, my goodness.
Hands to the face. 15-yard penalty.
That's the left
second down.
Ulatowski.
And he's got one of the better pass rushers going up against him on this defense. McKenna Dixon off to the far left. Gets his hands up right in the face mask.
Yeah.
Locks onto it. And a huge gain. Now Texas steps way back. Yeah, it's a good call, an obvious call. But Shipley puts them at least in field goal range. Now they're back to their own 39-yard line. Still 3 timeouts left.
Texas without 75 yards of offense in the first half in this game. Incomplete. Intended. And Brian Duncan. And that was Shipley going for another one.
Here's another example of this defense taking away the inside route. How many times have we seen Texas throw the ball in that area where linebackers and safeties have a tough time not allowing the receivers to get to the middle of the field? These guys, they are sitting on those routes. That time they just knocked it. Duncan just knocked it away.
Horns call a timeout with 35. And Kirk, you know, maybe the folks were right when they said Texas Tech has got a better defense this year. Certainly what we've seen here in the first half.
People that aren't familiar with Texas Tech, you got to understand, this is a team that's been averaging 8 wins under Mike Leach since he's been here. Back in August, with the veteran leadership that they had returning, with a 3-year starting quarterback, a better defense, a better running game, they felt in August this was their year to get by Texas, to get by Oklahoma, to go to the Big 12 championship. So it's not a shock to their fan base. They expected this kind of run, but what they've done in this first half, I'll tell you, for me, I'm shocked to see them at this point up 22-3, possibly as we get ready here for halftime.
Third and 25. Got one-on-one on that far side, and it's snared. That was Williams, and what a great reception, working one-on-one on that far sideline for 44 yards.
And it's Nickerson again. Earlier in this game, Texas got behind him. The ball's just thrown up high, and you have Malcolm Williams at 6'3", going up and over Brent Nickerson that time, and it's a huge catch for Texas.
Three-man rush. And they sack.
Got to use a timeout
Coy with a three-man rush.
Ruffin McNeill telling us we not only have to get the pressure off the edge with our defensive ends, we've got to be able to get a push in the middle. They rush three, and then a fourth defender comes in late. But look at the speed. It's forcing Colt McCoy to step up. Now, he trips over his own guy, but the reason is there's a linebacker pushing him right back into the face of Colt McCoy.
Yeah, Chris Hall was the lineman that he tripped over. Texas with one timeout. That's a telling stat in how well the Red Raiders have played defense here in the first half. Moving the pocket to the right. Fires back middle, incomplete. Third and 13 coming up with 16 seconds and one timeout. Mac checking that clock. At the very least, he wants to get out of here with a second field goal.
Well, he has to. Boy, it makes it so easy for a defense when you can consistently get after the quarterback by rushing three and sometimes four, and you create havoc for Colt McCoy. Boy, it makes it easy to be able to cover with 7 or 8 defenders against the receivers.
McCoy not hitting even 50%. That inside shuttle pass. Ogbonnaya. He'll step out of bounds, but he's across the 10-yard line.
He didn't get out of bounds.
He did not get out of bounds. They're going to have to use this last timeout to get the field goal team out. I don't think he got the first down.
Well, he's a yard short, and he didn't get out of bounds. Mack Brown had to call that timeout from the sidelines.
It was clearly out of bounds.
Ogbonnaya has some room to work with here. Picks up a block by Tanner. And I'll tell you, if Buckner does a better job there blocking against Nickerson, I think it makes it easier for Ogbonnaya to make a quicker decision to either get out of bounds or get upfield. He's in bounds there.
That's a great tackle. The ball there at the 8-yard line. 6 ticks of the clock.
You got to take the points. McCoy will stay on the sideline.
No question. They'll try to make this 22-6 here. Put you down 2 scores. Remember, with the 2-point conversions, you get yourself down to 16 right here. So Lawrence already made a 43-yarder here tonight. And this one a 25-yarder. Nails it. That's manageable.